Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here.
Now that's a proper introduction.
So today we're going to talk about the movie that everybody on YouTube and their mother has already talked about in the film community, and that of course is the brand new science fiction film Arrival, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, and Forest Whitaker. This is the story of a linguistics mastermind who suddenly witnesses that there is an alien arrival all over the world. They're appearing in random spots and nobody knows why they're there and what their purpose is, but apparently they are still trying to communicate with the humans, and through many failed attempts from many different areas, the American Army calls upon Amy Adams' character, Louise, to try and translate what the aliens are saying to open up a line of communications. And if that feat is in fact achieved, what is it exactly going to give the human race? Are these aliens in fact here for good, or do they have another purpose in mind? So let me be blunt, guys. I had no idea that this movie was coming out until about a few weeks beforehand, and quite frankly, I didn't have any interest. But then, so many people were saying incredible things about it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an incredible rating. So I said to myself, this is a movie that apparently I cannot miss. So I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late to the party, but there were so many other obligations that I had to take care of. But I did see Arrival, and I have to tell you guys that this movie is one of the best films that I have seen this year. Now, let me give you guys a little bit of an understanding here. This movie is 100% an absolute mindfuck, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. They don't make science fiction movies like this anymore. This was a true thinking man's science fiction film. Even at the beginning, I found a little bit of Stanley Kubrick-isms, if that is even a word. It probably is somewhere in the film community. There were definitely a lot of moments in the film that reminded me of 2001: A Space Odyssey, from the beautiful wide-angle shots to the moments of silence and the very boosting and powerful score by Johan Johansson, which is definitely one of the best scores that I have heard this year. I hope that it gets an Oscar nomination amongst others for this movie. But as the movie keeps moving on, you just get sucked into this story. Even though it is a very slow-paced film, you are on the edge of your seat when you are watching Louise trying to communicate with these very awkward-looking, non-understandable aliens. And the best part about this film is how it's so character and dialogue driven. It really does keep you interested, and it just leaves so much mystery at every turn that you have no idea which direction the movie is going to go. And let me tell you, there are plot twists aplenty throughout, and when you get to the ending, don't even get me started because your mind is going to be blown. Amy Adams, I will say, this could be her Oscar-winning performance. I would be shocked if she did not at least get a nomination, and I also believe that Arrival is one of the most well-crafted films that came out this year. It is one that must be seen on the big screen because the wide-angle shots and the color palette is absolutely stunning. But I am going to say that this movie is not necessarily something for everybody, because these thinking man's movies, not everybody likes them. Not necessarily saying that everyone that doesn't like them is dumb. That's not true. But not everybody wants to go to a movie to think. People want to get lost in a fantasy and forget about life for a while. They basically want to turn their brains off. And that's not a bad thing. Everybody has their own preference. But as far as I'm concerned, I like a movie that keeps me thinking, because I like my brain to keep working. And that is why I thought that Arrival was a very good time and one of the better film experiences that I had in 2016. Is this a movie that I want to see again? I do want to see it. Believe me, I do, because even though I'm pretty certain I didn't miss anything, it's just such a movie that engages me, and I'm just so excited to see a movie like this again. It's sort of like The Martian in some way, because it's another one of those movies that's really dialogue driven and it just interests you because you're just sucked into the story that keeps building with every minute that the movie moves forward. Is this a movie that I would want to own on DVD? At this point in time, it's up in the air because I don't see myself watching it like 50 million times. But do I see myself watching it again? Sure I do. But maybe I'll change my mind. And the funny thing is, with a lot of movies that I've seen this year, it's how I feel like I'm somewhere on that line as to whether or not I want to buy it or if I don't. But I definitely feel that I will see it again. Arrival is definitely worth your time. See it whenever you can and see it on the big screen. You cannot miss this. And I'm going to be giving Arrival 3.5 out of 4. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please put your comments in the box below and let's have a conversation about Arrival. And I will see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.